It is Monday, December 23rd, 2013, and welcome back. I am John Karowski, and I'm going to take you on another journey through digital discovery in the Tumblers and Grumblers edition of Photo Finds. This week we start in Epcot's United Kingdom Pavilion, where Limited Time Magic brought us a special meet and greet with everyone's favorite chimney sweep tumbler, Bert, as he joined Mary Poppins in celebration of the 1964 film. Mary Poppins is wearing her Jolly Holiday dress as opposed to her nanny dress, which she usually wears in the United Kingdom Pavilion, but it is rare to see Bert in his Jolly Holiday outfit. I wonder now that Sid Cahuenga's shop is closed at Disney's Hollywood Studios if this is the $65,000 sport jacket Dick Van Dyke wore in the movie that they had for sale there. I'm willing to bet it's not. Character attendants do point out that they are for photo only, no autographs will be signed, but they do hand out this autograph card themed to Mary Poppins' tape measure. As you can see, she measures up as practically perfect in every way, and Bert is a vanishing breed indeed, a line from the Sherman Brothers' Jolly Holiday song. Also given out at the meet and greet were these two-sided posters for the recent Blu-ray release of Mary Poppins and the theatrical release of the much-anticipated film Saving Mr. Banks, which was released this weekend. Saving Mr. Banks tells the story of Mary Poppins author P.L. Travers and her many inner and outer conflicts, most of them self-initiated, with her childhood and how they inspired the books and the story's journey to the screen, concluding at the Mary Poppins premiere at the Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. Our version of the Grauman's Chinese Theater at the Hollywood Studios Great Movie Ride celebrates, and they have for a while, the premiere of the film that happened at the theater, with this window that features opening night photos and special invitations and actual tickets to the premiere in August of 1964. The Chinese Theater has two displays windows. The other one features the other big Disney premiere that happened there, and that is The Jungle Book. This one, too, also features the same kind of press photos and memorabilia from that night, but this one is also timely as well, as I found out in the parking lot. They have a new billboard promoting the new, for the first time on Blu-ray, The Jungle Book will be released on February 11th. Also at Disney's Hollywood Studios, the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie set adventure reopened after refurbishment for quite some time. Some notable changes are the removal of the Kodak logo from this film slide. The removal of the logo does a remarkable job, making this object look more obsolete than it needs to, as now most kids under 12 will have no idea what this thing is. The giant can of Play-Doh is behind this construction wall. It is getting its graphic, Play-Doh graphic and logo removed. Not sure if this will be repurposed as to something else, removed from the area altogether, or just repainted back to what it was. This whole area used to be sponsored by Hasbro, which would explain the removal of the Play-Doh logo. But as you can see, the logo is still on this Tinker toy, another Hasbro toy, as is this Tonka truck, which also has a Scrabble tile on the back, which is owned by the game company that Hasbro purchased. The blank square next to the that says "Thanks for playing" used to have the Hasbro logo with the smile on it, but that was gone for a while, even before the rehab. Some new addition has been added to the Hollywood Studios restaurants. This holiday cupcake offered at most quick service locations is actually a gingerbread cupcake with a cream cheese frosting and the sugar Mickey Mouse. There's also a mini one with a bow version out there too. The Lightning McQueen buckets were introduced at the opening of Cars Land at Disney's California Adventure and have been available for a while, but there's more additions to the food and beverage containers lineup. The colorful squiggly cups has also been in the shops for a while too, as the R2-D2 holdout that's been over from Star Wars Weekends last year, but the orange cone with the Disney's Hollywood Studios logo is new and joins a similar orange cone offered at Disney's California Adventure and a sleek futuristic one offered at the new test track at Epcot. This is obviously a tie-in to Lights Motors Action, but it's interesting why they used the park's logo instead of the attractions. Some people would argue that it has to do with the ongoing rumors that the entire section of the park will be going down shortly to make way for a new expansion, and as I would love to see the new additions to the park, it does make me wonder why over at the Backlot Tour, work is still moving along on a new Western Town backdrop on the first building that your tram goes by. We discussed this on an earlier Photo Find show, but as you can see here, a lot more work is being done on the Western Town in the past few weeks and is still continuing. They went with a more 3D relief look to the new elements as opposed to just a painted wall. But I just wonder what the point of it is, putting this much time and investment of something that has been rumored to be on borrowed time for quite a while now, and without a real tie-in to a Western as of right now either. The Lone Ranger, Disney's last outing into the Wild West, crashed and burned at the box office, and I can't think of another Disney Western that they have in the works. So I guess only time will tell what kind of expansion is on the horizon. Also, really quick on the Backlot Tour, between the harbor attack segment and the walk through the prop shop before you get on your tram are these two wooden cradle-like structures you can see in the middle of the picture here. They kind of, to me, they look like attraction vehicles for the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, maybe smaller versions. I did ask a cast member. He said that they are props for the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I am taking that with a grain of salt, but they are on display at Hollywood Studios. Also, a few weeks ago, we reported some of the changes to the movie props at the AFI Showcase. That concludes the Backlot Tour. Some changes more changes have occurred, where they had production photos of the 1957 film West Side Story has been replaced with storyboard sketches and an Oscar from Oliver Stone's Platoon and a script from Wall Street, which is on the left. Also, some storyboard sketches and a script from E.T., Steven Spielberg's E.T. the Extraterrestrial, as well as the lighted mushroom prop. To me, it's always odd seeing properties from Universal Studios and films at Disney Park. We are going to leave the parks for a while and head over to downtown Disney West Side, where Cirque du Soleil, the most famous Tumblers at Disney, is now celebrating its 15 years since its opening. When we took our seats, we saw these cocoon-looking sacks hanging from the ceilings filled with balloons, so we knew that by attending the Wednesday, December 18th, 6 p.m. performance, that we were going to be in for a treat. Well, that hunch proved to be correct, because quickly, during the pre-show, Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse appeared in the arena with their tickets being ready to be sat. The two clowns ushered them right center stage, where the Orlando Sentinel reported that this is Mickey and Minnie's first time appearing on the Lanua stage. Besides cast members from the show, they were joined by Keith Bradford, Vice President of Downtown Disney, and Neil Boyd, Company Manager of Cirque du Soleil. They talked about different milestones in attendance of the show and had throughout its 15-year history, and of course the hope and vision to see it go longer. In fact, only two other permanent Cirque shows have been in existence longer than Lanua. That is Mystere and O, both in Las Vegas, one at Treasure Island and the other at the Bellagio, respectively. Keith Bradford gave Neil Boyd this sparkly, colorful Sorcerer Mickey tchotchke as a token of Disney's appreciation for all that Lanua has brought to downtown Disney, as it really draws people from all over the world to come see. As a local, I tend to almost forget that it's there, mostly because it's not likely I'm going to drop that ticket price on a semi-regular basis, but when I do treat myself to a night there, I always remember how much I like it, and what a wonderful experience it is having it so close to us. Anyway, the night ended with the balloons from the sacks being dropped above the audience, which is always a lot of fun and excitement. And then this is the logo that was on the balloon. And then the entire 15th anniversary was projected on the back wall of the set. Also really cool, and my favorite part of the night was all attendees of the show were handed this special lithograph on their way out, featuring an artistic rendering of many of the different performances at the Downtown Disney show. Now, speaking of talented performances at Disney, we haven't mentioned it before here, but Joyful, the gospel choir at Epcot, has returned again. They have been performing at Epcot since 2009, when the lights of winter glowed away forever, as my friend Jeff Lang would say. Now, I'm not going to beat that Bring Back Lights of Winter dead horse. And to be fair, this was a random Tuesday afternoon at a traditionally slow time visiting Walt Disney World, but this was the crowd. You'll see coming soon. This was the crowd for the show. Now, of course, some people have stayed. More people came in. A lot of people left early. And they're invited back every year, so obviously this is popular, but maybe their fans just didn't come on that day. Lights of Winter fans still do grumble that they want their musical light display back. But instead of that, right now we're going to head over to a different sort of grumbling, and that is over at Universal Studios Islands of Adventure in the Seuss Landing section. Because over this holiday season, over at the Circus McGurkus Stupendous Cafe, we have the Grinch Miss Character Breakfast. Now, being to many different character breakfasts at Walt Disney World and the Shrek Feast at the Gaylord Palms, I kind of went in there knowing what to expect. The food did disappoint. It was not a buffet. You had different combo options you could choose from, with choices like their signature green eggs and ham. No ham. If you haven't had the green eggs before, they are dusted with the spinach dust. Give it that color and flavor. Also, they have Little Rice Krispie Christmas trees. Now, before I knock it too much, here's the food. You can see there's a lot of food here. I'm not complaining about the quantity of food. Uh, don't pay any attention to the paper plates and plastic forks. Nothing but the best for Grinch missed breakfast guests. But you are paying a premium. Characters are expensive, and operationally, the food has to be the cheapest part of the breakfast for the company. So I wish that there was a better variety, and of course, I wish the quality of the food was a lot better too. But let's talk about the characters that we meet here. Here is the Cat in the Hat in French Chat Chapeau. Also, we have two residents of Whoville that come to meet us. On the left is a man who called himself Wacko Magoo Who, and on the right was Ruby Who's Day. She told us she was in charge of decorating Martha May's house. I admittedly had to look up who Martha May was and found out that it was Christine Baranski's character in the 2000 film How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So that is the base source of the Grinch Miss, and of course the character breakfast, which is clear because here's the big guy himself. The Grinch, he was great. The one shining star of the breakfast. He stayed in character. His interactions were actually funny. He was great with the kids. He talked to them, not at them, and he was a lot of fun to talk to. Conversations were not awkward, which I do have to admit I do get awkward when talking to characters where you see their actual face, like the Disney princesses, the Disney fairies, even Jack Sparrow. I like the character. I like getting into the characters, but come on, I don't come from a kingdom. I don't know what kind of fairy I am. But anyway, I put myself into that situation as we took our roommate to Cinderella's royal table for his birthday. Cinderella decked out her castle for the holidays with a beautiful tree in the royal blue color scheme, plus a big wreath over the door. For a while, mostly since it went from character dining all three meals with a price fixed menu, this restaurant has gotten quite a bad rap from the Disney fan community. Now, I made it clear my feelings of character interactions, but there is something about being in this area of Cinderella Castle that I like, and I have always had consistently good service at the restaurant, as well as good food. I cannot say the same thing about the newer, shinier Be Our Guest restaurant. My favorite characters to see in the restaurant are Gus, Gus, and Jack, who are hidden over the ledge looking down on the people in the foyer. I think I like them because they don't talk. And of course, the bluebirds who help the mice make Cinderella's dress in the stained glass windows. But let's look at the characters who are here to meet and greet the guests. Cinderella, she's here. She stays in the lobby, and you meet her first. The family portrait the PhotoPass photographer takes for you is included in the price of your meal. So it's not like Hoop-Dee-Doo Review or Chef Mickey's where you have to add it on. Here's Snow White, the fairest of them all, Princess Jasmine from 1992's Aladdin. And here is the Little Mermaid, who this year got a dress makeover, and that's her new dress, as did Sleeping Beauty, Princess Aurora. She also got a new hairdo. There has been a report that this new dress has been causing some slight wardrobe malfunctions, nothing Janet Jackson major, and that she will be going back to her older dress soon. Let's talk about everybody's favorite part of the food, though, the dessert. This is the dessert trio. It has a pumpkin cheesecake, a chocolate peanut butter parfait, and of course a little fruit tart with some preserves on the side. This next one is called the Clock Strikes 12, and it is a white chocolate, surrounding a marshmallow cream filling inside, and plus the cookie on top that make it look like the clock is striking 12. The numbers are not printed on the plate, but they're actually brushed on with some kind of edible pastry. We're going to go from the regal elegance of Cinderella's royal table and head to the tribal charm of Disney's Animal Kingdom, where for the first time all guests were invited to take part of the FastPass Plush option of the My Magic Plus this week. To date, only Disney Resort guests were able to use this for the most part. Many of the areas have been designated for sign-up times. Here, half the Creature Comfort gift shop, as you can see, was set up with a lot of iPads and instructions. And this section did stay pretty empty, but I cannot say the same thing over by Everest. Pretty much everybody you see here is in a line to sign up for their FastPass Pluses at Expedition Everest. This line was moving very slowly, and we're very curious to see how this line will move during the Christmas week. People have said they didn't have to wait too long to book their FastPass Pluses in the park during the test, but this proves that there's still a lot of education that needs to be done with the average guests on the new rollout. Also, over at Disney's Animal Kingdom, more work is being done at the new Festival of the Lion King Theater. The walkway leading up to the construction wall in the photo will probably be the entrance to the theater, as the original location of the Dawa Bar has been moved. It moved to a more centrally located next to the Tusker House check-in. As you can also see, it's also not further back, but as you can see, there's more lights added to the Dawa Bar, which probably does indication that is anticipating to hold longer hours. And lastly, we're going to head over to ESPN Wide World of Sports, where they held their last pin training night of 2013. Now, they moved the pin training nights over from to this location from the Contemporary Resort in 2013, which made me wonder that the poor staff of ESPN, they have to endure cheerleaders several times a year, Pop Warner football boys every December. Is it really fair to unleash hundreds, if not thousands, of pin and vinylmation traders on them 6 times a year? Well, the 6 times actually became 4 times, as they were two initially that were going to be held this year were not scheduled, and that the product that was released that was made for February and June's did not got scheduled at the later ones throughout the year. They came up with a new system that if you want to purchase the pieces available exclusively that night, they gave you a colored wristband determined on what time you entered the door, and then they would flash that color on the big screens throughout Wide World of Sports. Upcoming pieces were also on display, like this limited edition Huey, Dewey, and Louie vinylmation set coming soon later this year for the Animation 4, and this Tower of Terror as part of the Park 13, limited to 1,500, but 150 will be in a surprise box, and you might receive the 1,500 is the black and white, but 150 of them will be those actual ghost versions. Also notice the price is question mark, question mark. Well, I hope you enjoyed my reliving my past week with me. Please join me next week as we go through a review of 2013. Until then, have a safe and happy Christmas, and I will see you all next week. Goodbye.